Hey y'all, what's up? It's your girl Goody, and I am coming to you with season 2, episode 1 of Love and Marriage DC. We open up the show at watching Jamie walk into what we learn is DJ Quick's job. Quick is working, and he's doing his little talking thing, and he passes the mic to his co host, who hits him with Monique and Chris drama, which is surprising to him because he had a whole entire prep meeting and they didn't say they were going to surprise him with that. So, wow. The shock and awe. In any event, he says being separated doesn't mean divorce, and he hasn't seen anything from the Samuels indicated that they're not going to be together. Also of note, Jamie's there and he's like, how'd this guy get into the office? So it's cute to see that they've maintained their friendship even in the off season. We then go to Irena and Ashley, and Irena's paying a visit to Ashley's home. And it's so interesting to watch how Irena dresses. Like, she kills it. Like, body good, gear good. Like, she can dress. She can dress. Ashley greets her like, girl, why are you so dressed up? And, she has drinks. They go and they start talking. In Ashley's confessional, though, Ashley's funny and she's quick-witted. And when you're funny and quick-witted, believe me, I know, sometimes you say things that are a bit offensive. She's like, me and Irena are friends with an N because there ain't no D, because she ain't getting no D from me and she ain't getting no D from Jamie. A callback to the fact that Jamie and Irena were having a bit of issues in the bedroom in the past season. In any event, they're talking about Monique and Chris. Are they still together? How come they have to live separately? Their house is big enough that they shouldn't have to live separately. They knew they were separated. I personally didn't know that they were officially separated. So when I went to take a look at the situation and how it was going down, it turns out that after the season, they separated or lived separately in an effort to try to save their marriage. I also really believe that it's possible that Monique might have taken a home or a place closer to her job because she was waking up really early to go to do her radio hosting gig. Wish them the best because I think it's a cute family. Would hate to see that family separated. Jamie and Quick are having a similar discussion down to Quick's job. They didn't know anything about separation. They just didn't know. But men aren't really tuned into that kind of stuff. They get to talking about the families and how things are going. Jamie admits that Jason is going to be living on his own. He got accepted to Doors and now it's move-in time. And he's taking it hard. Irena is telling Ashley the same thing. And I understand it because, when you're a parent and your child depends on you, the process of letting go and stepping back is so difficult. But you get through it. I know this from when my son went away to university. So they're going back and forth, and they get to the reality that Lil Jamie and Jamie Sr. are not doing well. Apparently, Lil Jamie or Jamie Jr. was doing well. Things were looking up, and he applied for a job that his dad referred him to, but his background check messed him up. I'm not quite sure why they didn't foresee this, but, they should have. In any event, I guess his depression or his sadness or maybe just feeling like he disappointed his parents kind of made him stay away a bit. And his family seems to be close-knit and they don't like that withdrawal. In any event, he paid his parole officer. I did not know you had to pay the parole officer. That's how much I know about these streets, child. Because what? I'm not paying. No. Then I pay. Oh, no. I didn't know you had to pay the parole officer. He paid him the $125 and he had a $150 speeding ticket. He asked his dad to handle it. His dad was like, nah, you got to get a job. Basically, this situation has caused problems. He told the family he can't depend on them. Arena took offense to that because he clearly depends on them all the time. It's a tense situation for them. We also learned that Jamie has retired. He's 49 years old. And I get that. My co-parent is an officer. And he will be retiring this year as well at the age of 49. So good job when they can get that done. Because, they don't always have to make it home. So when they can get that done, I'm always happy about that. Next, the Love and Marriage DC clan is introduced to Joy and Clifton. I'm a Ready to Love fan. Their season might have been the last season because I didn't like the Miami situation they had going. But their season might have been the last season that was actually something that I was going to pay attention to. In any event, what I will say is I think Joy and Clifton are a great addition to the show. I also believe that they are actually in a true, real relationship. I do believe that they care for each other. However, I think it's going to take some time for them to have the cameras solely focused on them all the time because it seemed a bit performative. It seemed fake. Not them as people or them in a relationship, but them in front of the cameras. And also, America's Meeting You Now is a bigger platform than Ready to Love. The whole backshot thing, call me a prude, but there's certain things I don't think the public needs to see. Another thing I noted about this scene with them is that Joy noted that it feels different now that she is not in a long distance relationship. I think that for Clifton, the everyday might be setting in and he may now be, complacent. He's not showing her that he misses her all that much. He added levity to the situation, but to me, that's something to keep our eyes on. Now we get a look at Quick and Ashley's current status. Ashley has help now. The person who was her nanny before has come back to be her support, I guess her assistant, because she has her book coming out and she has her podcast. And Quick is never home because somehow, even though last season it was suggested to Quick that he slowed down, he's working harder than he's ever worked before. So I don't know if he's trying to pack in all the gigs he can for the eventuality that soon he won't be able to work. But Quick is never home because Quick is always working. They get into a discussion about the fact that Ashley is still babying her 14-year-old. I have some experience with this because when my son was 13, 14, his father would forever tell me, oh, you're coddling him, which is what Quick is telling Ashley. You're coddling him. That boy not going to know what to do if you're not around. The funny thing is, I was taking a step back, but you can't just take a step back and let the kid miss school and then the kid will be all right. That's not how it works. A part of rearing a child includes giving them a tap when they're not on the right path, because eventually you will not be there. But while you are there, you are supposed to give them a heads up, like, hey, you need to wake up because you have school. Missing school for me wouldn't be an option because, like, my son had a perfect attendance record. We weren't messing that up just because he was late. And there was a system. Our morning had a system to it, right? Like, we had a routine for the morning. And because we had a routine for the morning, a part of our routine was me waking him up when breakfast was done. He is 26 today. I don't have to wake him up. I haven't had to wake him up in quite some time. But you don't just let go of the wheel when your child turns 14. Hilariously, my co-parent was still babying my son when he was telling me not to, right? Like, he went to all of my son's college games. My son plays lacrosse. He went to all of his college games. I haven't been to one. I let go of the wheel. His dad was still down to the school on a regular basis, seeing what's up. So men get really funny with that. And I'm going to say, if your maternal instinct says, hey, step in, pitch in, and make sure your child doesn't miss school and things of that nature, do that. Because Lord knows you don't want the truant officer coming down to your house like, what's going on with this boy? They then get to talking about Lil Jamie. And I knew this would be problematic when I heard it. Because from the Silvers, we're finding out that Lil Jamie has had problems since his teenage years. Since he was 15, Lil Jamie has had problems. And, I mean, it's not uncommon for someone who has a parent in law enforcement to kind of be rebellious. So, you know, I don't have that experience, but it's not uncommon. So, bottom line, Silva said something. Quick said, Antonio is a good kid that's spoiled, and Jamie was a bad kid that was entitled. Since the episode aired, you know, Jamie and Quick have had this discussion because, you know, it's not fair to call a child bad as they're trying to figure it out in comparison to another child. And I disagree. I don't think that Lil Jamie is a bad child. Maybe a little misguided. He's a middle child, so maybe he was trying to get attention. Maybe he just needed help. Maybe he still needs help, but calling him a bad child is a no-go. This is a real issue for Ashley and Quick, but Quick has to go to work before they could even hash it out. So, you know, I too would hate if I were arguing with someone and they had to get up and go. That would kind of infuriate me. So it's the day of Jason's going away party. It's an all-black event. It's pretty good looking. Out the gate, they don't know if Lil Jamie's going to show up. They don't know if Monique and Chris are going to show up. They are happy. It looks to be a good event. Clifton and Joy do show up, and everyone's happy to see them. They ask about their romance. They did get engaged on TV. Good stuff. I love it for them. Joy mentions that she'll be speaking at a Steve Harvey event where she'll be talking about being ready to love for single mothers. Ashley questions that because why is Joy speaking to single mothers? And I do not disagree with this. And, you know, when I was on Kamisha's panel, I said I didn't agree with, I don't think that Joy should be speaking to single mothers about being ready for love. That's not the first choice I would have. But she can talk about her experience and her journey from her perspective. Today I happened to be reading a few articles, and Lala Anthony was talking about how her son Cayenne, he's 15, has decided that he'd prefer she stay single forever. And he's very protective. When you are a mom and you are single, a single mother, you have to move a little bit differently as it relates to dating. For me, I remember when I was dating, I would have a discussion. If I'm talking to a man, I would be like, and my son this and my son that. And if he changed the topic too quickly, he wasn't invested in myself or my son. This worked for me, but it might not work for other people. But there are definitely different approaches you have to take to being a single mother that's ready for love. Also, because I have been a single mother. No, sorry, I'm lying to you. I've never been a single mother. I've been a single woman who is a mother. However, my co-parent has been there every step of the way. I never stressed. I never stopped dating, really, because when my son was with his dad, that was my time to date and do as I pleased. I didn't have to figure out childcare. I was covered. That is not the experience of many single mothers. I was blessed, and I didn't know I was blessed initially because I thought that's just the way things were. However, life has shown me that my experience isn't like others, and because my experience isn't like others, my ability to provide advice in these arenas that I'm not familiar with, I have to take a beat and realize that everyone doesn't walk the same path as I walked. So I don't disagree. However, it became a very tense situation between Joy and Ashley, who are friends, or at least they were packaged to us as friends. Arena doesn't even think it's something that should be discussed. And Clifton stepped up to be like, regardless of if she's single or a mother or not, she has the speaking engagement. And Joy's like, and I'm going to knock it out the park. There's going to be tension between Joy and Ashley. We've seen the footage, but I can see it starts here, right? Because Joy was not pleased that Ashley accurately calling her on her moves. But, again, I think Joy and Clifton are going to be great for the franchise. I just don't think that Joy should be doing speaking engagements for single women who are mothers, who don't have the ability to date as freely as she was able to travel in this world. Just my opinion. Jason is so happy to be getting out the nest. I love that for him. He's very excited about leaving the nest. Quick and Ashley show up. I think they're slightly surprised because Quick was in Mexico prior. When the grandmother, Arena's mom, Jamie, and Arena are together, and then the sister joins, they do discuss little Jamie in the text he sent. Apparently, like I said earlier, when things are not going his way, when he is a little out of sorts, Jamie withdraws from everyone and he'll move in with his girlfriends. And, he'll ice out his family. He's probably icing them out because he feels like he's disappointed them. There's definitely a need for some kind of therapy or something. He needs to speak and see someone, because I think he's trying to please people that will not be pleased until he's actually happy. And he's not happy. Even in all the things he was doing, he's not happy. So apparently he sent them a text saying, hey, the only person who does anything for me is my girlfriend. That's a problem for the family because collectively it seems they all do a lot for little Jamie. The grandma don't like it. The mom don't like it. She's offended. Jamie don't like it. And, older sisters like, check this out. Y'all spoiled him. Y'all got to deal with him how you deal with him. She does cite that Jamie Sr.'s tone and manner of engaging with his son could be so abrasive that it could be the problem. I don't disagree, but I do understand what would make a man, like, they in the finish line. Jamie knows that he spoiled his son. They at the 26-year mark. He knows that he has only so much time to try and get his son on a sturdy foundation, because once you hit 30, it's never too late to be sturdy. But once you hit 30, it's a different ball game than when you can say you're in your 20s, right? He's trying to speed and fix some of his errors. He admits even that he gave his son everything because he didn't have anything growing up. That's a mistake he made. That's a mistake that him and Arena made. They're trying to fix it, but I'm not quite sure how fixed it'll be. Monique and Chris don't show up, but Jamie does show up. Jamie Jr. does show up. And when he shows up, he looks disheveled. He looks like he needs. I'm not quite sure. He needs a twist. He needs to have dressed like the rest of his family. The Tylers are a very snazzy family, right? He looks out of sorts. They give a speech. Jason gives a speech. The parents are very emotional. Lil Jamie's like, I'm happy he's getting out of here. I'm happy for him. I'm happy he's getting away from his parents. Jamie is a little tight. Lil Jamie is a little tight. But I understand it. Like, there's this coming of age thing, and it feels like he suffered from Arrested Development, and now they're trying to force ripe him. It's not going to work in that way. He steps away. His dad wants to talk to him. You can tell he's dreading this conversation. And the conversation goes left really quick. It's like, hey, what are you going to do? His dad wants him to work a security job. He doesn't want to work a security job. He's like, I could have asked grandma for the money. Basically, he knows who to ask for things. And he's offended that he wasn't offered the money to pay the ticket. And that offense has him acting out. But a grown man acting out is as a result of his parents allowing it. I hope that Jamie and Arena can get this together because their son does have a promising future. But it is not, if they continue along this path, it's not looking bright. A message about men and their sons. Again, I have a 26-year-old son that I have with a man who has a similar disposition to Jamie. Men can be very hard on their sons. They can put a bunch of expectations on their sons. And I tend to tell my co-parent when he's doing too much and when it's time to step back. I don't have to do it and he doesn't have to listen, but we do this together. And we're still doing it because although our child is 26 years old, I'm no longer mothering, I'm now mentoring. And, I won't tell him what to do, but I will advise him. And I will hope that he can come to me when he's in a tight spot. That's the episode, really. It looks like this is going to be a good season. I'm glad that I'm finally doing my reviews. I've been here since season 1. I'm always watching the shows. As it relates to Love and Marriage DC, you will find me on Kamisha Reviews panel on Saturdays. I'm not quite sure of the specific time. I think 10 o'clock on Saturdays, 10 o'clock Eastern on Saturdays. I'll keep y'all in the loop. This has been great. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, talk to me. I want to talk back to you. I got a lot to say. You'll learn if you follow, if you mess with me. I have a lot to say and I'm going to say it all. I consider myself a chatter extraordinaire, the chatter that matters. Thanks for playing. Thanks for visiting. Bye.